The term whiplash, in terms of what it means in my business, is it's usually caused from a rear-end collision or actually even a front-end collision, depending on the type of accident. It means that your neck has literally snapped from one extreme to the other, causing muscle fibers and perhaps ligaments to tear. Whiplash is a soft tissue injury, meaning that the fibers of your muscles and the fibers of ligaments have stretched to a point where it has caused pain. It's not necessarily something that you're going to diagnose, it's something that a doctor is going to diagnose. We have clients who have treated with many forms of doctors that have diagnosed whiplash. Chiropractors, we've had physical therapists, we've had pain specialists, we've had orthopedic and neurosurgeons who would be the type of discipline that would diagnose whiplash injuries. Immediately following a whiplash injury, you should seek medical attention. Usually after an accident, my clients have gone to the emergency room, either have driven themselves or they have been taken by an ambulance. After that, there should be an immediate follow-up with at least a family doctor or some type of doctor who specializes in the treatment of car accidents or work accidents. Once you see either your family doctor or a specialist, that doctor is going to then make a decision as to whether or not you should seek further treatment in the form of physical therapy, chiropractic care, perhaps aquatherapy, and any other forms of therapy that they deem necessary. So if you're involved in a whiplash injury from a car accident, there are numerous things that we have to consider. Okay? First of all, you'll have a wage claim, a lost wage claim. You'll have incurred medical bill claim, and ultimately you will have most likely a pain and suffering claim. In terms of your wage claim, if you are working, you will be entitled for Delaware law to receive your net earnings, which is defined by our courts as about 80% of your average weekly wage. If you're to remain out of work, you will need to have a doctor provide a disability note providing a time frame for you to be out of work. And that note will then be forwarded to your insurance company for a lost wage claim. You will need to treat with a doctor. That doctor will treat you, and his medical bills will also be paid by your insurance company. At the end of the case, you will have most likely a claim for pain and suffering. We will go to the other person's insurance company, the person who was at fault and caused the accident, and we will make a claim for your pain and suffering. The settlement amount, I don't know what that is worth right now, but I can tell you at the end of the case, once we have evaluated your case and we obtained all your medical records and obtained a final medical report from your treating doctor, we can then present a claim for your pain and suffering and attempt to resolve your claim. Your odds at returning to work at full capacity involving the claim that you have are probably pretty good. A whiplash claim is a claim that is something that normally resolves in time, depending on the severity. I have seen whiplash claims resolved anywhere between 2 weeks and 2 years. Sometimes the more severe whiplash cases last longer than 2 years. But in general, your claim will last anywhere between 2 months and 12 months. Getting you back to a high capacity job may not happen in the first part of that time frame, but certainly in the middle or later part of that time frame, you should be able to get back to your job. When you aggravate a pre-existing condition, that sometimes causes problems in the resolution of your claim. Now, if your pre-existing condition had resolved prior to this car accident, then it probably will have little to no effect. There is also a time situation. Did your pre-existing condition occur 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month or so before this car accident? If it did, then there's going to be some problems that we'll have to deal with. If it happened 2 or 3 years ago and you treated for it and you were better after 6 months, then it's less likely that that will become a problem. However, it's always very important in cases like that to obtain past medical records so that when we do an evaluation of what your case is worth, that we have that information and we present that to the insurance company and let them know that your pre-existing condition had resolved prior to this current car accident. In a commercial setting where a commercial truck has caused an accident, there are numerous people for which to provide a claim. You can certainly, if a lawsuit is needed, You will need to sue the driver of that truck and his employer. If it's a insurance-only claim at first, we will present the claim against the employer, and we will then try to resolve the claim with that insurer's insurance company. If that is not possible and we can't resolve the claim and a lawsuit is needed, then you sue the employee and you sue the employer. A whiplash claim in terms of physical pain and how long it lasts will probably resolve at one point in time. It is rare, although not unheard of, that you have permanent injuries from a whiplash type case. Normally, after a certain amount of treatment and a certain amount of time frame that goes by, your whiplash claim should resolve without any type of permanent effects. However, there are exceptions to that, and depending on the severity of the collision will also play some role in how severe or permanent the injury will be. Yes and no. In terms of the rate of speed causing severity of a whiplash claim, I have seen clients of mine who have been rear-ended at 120 miles an hour, and they have resolved their claim in 2 weeks. I have had clients who have been rear-ended at 5 miles an hour who needed surgery. So there's really no rhyme or reason to the amount of speed or rate of speed or type of collision. It depends on the particular person, it depends on whether or not there are pre-existing problems with the neck, and it depends on your age, and it will depend on many other factors. If you have numbing and tingling down your arm and into your hand, that is a pretty serious red flag, and that means that you probably have something a little more extensive or serious than a whiplash injury. You may have a herniated disc, you may have a very bad bulging disc, you may have torn the annulus of your disc. It's something that you need immediate treatment and immediate diagnosis, because if you don't get that done soon enough, you're going to let that linger, and that becomes a real problem for you in the future. In order for your medical bills to be paid, you will present a claim against your own insurance company. Delaware has a statute called PIP, Personal Injury Protection, and it basically is a no-fault statute, which simply means it doesn't matter whose fault the accident was. You go back to your own insurance company to have your wages and medical bills paid. In Delaware, you have to have at least a minimum $15,000 of coverage to pay for lost wages or medical bills. Once we make a claim against your insurance company, we will present the medical bills, we will present your lost wages, and they should be reimbursed as long as they are reasonable, they're necessary, and they causally are related to the auto accident. Contact the Freibot Law Firm today, as I offer free consultations to those injured in Delaware. I also charge no fee or cost unless I recover for you.